Hello! Well, we're back again for another week's Homebrew Wednesday. Excuse the changing light. The shed door's blowing open and shut. It's a little bit dim in here. Oh, that's better. Let me just let's make use of all these bloody beer crates that are in the way. It's a bit cramped in the old brew shed at the minute because all the beer cases are in here. The empties and the not so empty ones. But I thought I'd grab the camera while I evaluate my latest purchase. I've been looking on eBay and pricing up the large water filters because I know some other guys have mentioned it, particularly Ben. We live in hard water areas and you get the chlorine taste as well. Now I noticed it quite a bit recently. We do have one of those little under sink filters with a little drinking water tap for filling the kettle up, but I've fixed it twice now, so I don't use it, and I have noticed the taste coming back through, particularly over the last sort of couple of 3 weeks. And I myself do notice a twang in most of my beers, not all of them, but including kit ones as well. And it seems to have a similar footprint, and I think some people have picked it out in the Hbw beer reviews, which is the reason why I put the beer in. So to start chasing towards identifying and alleviating that, I've bought another brewery upgrade. Now I had a look on eBay and they sell these, but the cheapest ones that are pretty much the same as this have one drawback. Most of the cheap ones are a clear filter housing, which means sunlight can get in, and any standing water that's going to be left in here is obviously going to go green over time. So the option is to go for the blue ones or any solid colour that doesn't let light through. The ones that were on eBay were no cheaper than this one, and they didn't include the mounting bracket, which you may or may not need depending on your pipe work support holding it in place. But the cost of the bracket on some people's sites, and also this little spanner that you get for tightening the case up, includes the filter, which is a coconut carbon filter. The couple I looked at on eBay, which were around about the same price or a little bit more, included more filters, but they were the wrong type of filters. They were sediment cartridges, and not cartridges designed to filter out chlorines and such like. So I went for this one, which is out of Screwfix for 21 quid. Now, I've nipped it up a bit now, but I'll just show you. You get everything with this one. You get a filter to get you going, which is good, they say, for 6 months, or I mean some of the other manufacturers say longer. I think the idea is they say 6 months because they want you to buy a replacement irrespective of whether you've used the volume it's capable of filtering or not. But basically, yeah, you get an empty thing with a seal. This is the coconut carbon cartridge. Obviously the particles are held in a sandwich, a bit like a swimming pool filter. There's a gasket on tops and bottom. One seal's in the base, the other seal's against the top. Make sure you locate that. And obviously when it's fixed to the wall, you just rotate the cylindrical part and then use the spanner just to tighten it up so you don't get any leakage around the seal. It's brass inserts. This is the 3/4. You'll see some on the website, it's a 1/4 inch, which is a bit too small of a flow volume. 1/2 inch, which is like your 15mm pipe fittings, and a 3/4. I went for the 3/4 because one, that's the only one they do, but I was choosing ones on eBay. If you're going for price, that's one thing to look for, because they're not all 3/4 or 1/2 inch. Some of them are only 1/4, which is a small bore, like you get for fridge, freezers, water drinks dispensers. Also comes with 2 nylon or plastic nipples. Obviously they've chosen that because it's cheaper than the brass ones, but basically you get one of those to go in each end to fit your pipe adapters. The reason I went for that is because the other reason is you've got old garden hose pipe fittings are 3/4. So on the inlet we can screw that straight on. Hose pipe on there, put another one on this end, you get a pair, so we can do both. I'll just take the adapter off here. Just quickly showing this for a obviously one. The only thing it doesn't mention in the instructions is using PTFE tape around the threads. But basically, yeah, an innie and an outie. Your wall bracket, so I can connect me water hose in here, and get some silicone hose on the outside, on the outlet, to go over to my HLT, so I can fill filtered water into that. I'll probably still do the normal process in addition to it anyway, but it's just an extra precaution, an extra attempt to improve beer quality. Can't hurt. Either way, so yeah, we just got to decide whereabouts on the wall I can fit the bloody thing, and obviously hope that it doesn't leak and drip in here. But obviously there's only water connected in the shed at the time I'm using them, you know, I'm in here. There's no main supply as yet. Well, it won't be in this one. Mark II brew shed there will be, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, so that's this week's Home Improvement Norfolk bargain. Right, so there it is in situ on the piece of backer board, which is an old cabinet door. And just a hose fitting there. That's the one for me water chiller, but you get the idea. So the water can come in and I can connect up that end and run a hose round to the HLT. Well, all in the ground with water in it. No. Well, yes it is. Oh dear. It's been one of those days. I haven't been a work day. Another mind-numbing day on the road. Not to hell, but to Norwich. Back to the hospital again. But, never mind about that. We have another country themed beer first. Just carefully take the top off. I'm saving the crown caps. Well, ones of any note. For a future project, you never know. This is the Pelforth Blonde, which is a little French beer, not one of the better ones we have at work, but it was free, so it's as good as they get. It's smelly, 5.8%. Quite a malt smell on it. I'll pronounce sort of I can't quite think what to. Like a fruit, not an artificial fruit smell. Can't quite. Sort of a bit clovey as well. Marmalade-y. That's what it smells like. A little bit marmalade-y. Like I say, it's got quite a good head. It's clear. It's light blonde ale. Malty, doesn't feel as carbonated as it looks. There's a good stream coming up the glass. I don't know whether this is a rigid glass. I don't think so. It's a Tetley glass. Strange, actually. I was expecting it to be sort of a bit of a lager-esque. There's a little bit of back note. Doesn't taste marmalade-y. Don't know what hop they use. I didn't do any research on it. It's in a tiny little bottle. Look at it. Is that an after dinner beer or what? 25 centilitres. Not their best beer, but reasonably good seller at work. But I did try a few others this week from B&M's. I've done a Christian brew beer. It's the first one of the night, honest. And it's such a tinsy wincy little beer. I had Marston's Old Empire IPA. And that's one to forget about rather quickly. Oakham Ale's Citra, which is okay. Some people don't like it a lot. Mixed reviews, I suppose, on the internet, but then you get that with any beer. If you've never used Citra hops and you want to find out what they're like, then buy the Oakham Ale Citra. It's definitely carbonated, although it doesn't feel like it. Not the best tasting or the most pleasant smelling beer. Definitely wouldn't buy it, but free beer's free beer. Yeah, so we had Oakham Ale Citra, that was okay. Marston's Old Empire. An old speckled hen, well, what can we say? It's an old speckled hen. It's a popular 3 for a £5 or whatever offer is going on in the supermarkets. Average beer. They say they call it a strong ale. It's 5%. It's okay. I prefer crafty hen myself, and the only other one I've got left, because it's cheaper than where I work, is the Foreign Extra, which is 7.5%, which is what Guinness is supposed to be, and not the watered down crap they normally have. But yeah, so water filter wise, yeah, in my armoury, to try and combat various components that end up in your water. It doesn't stop you having hard water. I mean, you don't want to take all the minerals out of your water anyway, because obviously you need minerals in there for your mash. But it does reduce, or I can only speak for the one I had in the sink, you don't get as much ferrin in the kettle. So it does reduce some of the lime scale. And it definitely gets rid of that friggin' horrible chlorine taste, which we have since we stopped using it. Was progressively, it varies. They do chlorinate our water because obviously it's the way they kill all the nasties in the water. There is some naturally occurring chlorine in background levels. Obviously it's naturally picked up through the saturation through the soil, same as there is fluorides and other minerals. I know there's a few bits and pieces going on about fluoride again on Facebook and things, but most of the UK is not fluorinated by man. There are certain parts of Lincolnshire and the Midlands that have fluoride added to the water, but we don't. So yeah, it's just mainly to get rid of the chlorine. I mean, the water clarity is fine here. It's just obviously just improving, getting rid of that chlorine taste and then the other little components that might affect the pre-mash on the making of the beer. We can but try. It's not a huge investment, it's not going to cost a fortune. I think the Screwfix cartridges are £10. You can buy them for half that price on eBay, $4.50 delivered to your door for the same cartridge. So guess where I'll be getting the replacement from? But the wine is still in the demijohn. It's finished fermenting naturally, pretty much. So I don't know how dry it's come out. I've done the usual. I've put a Camden tablet in to kill the yeasties off, and some wine stabiliser to stop it from oxidising. So the next job is obviously just to transfer it. I don't think it really needs any clearing. It's dropped to clear again. I'll see what it's like. If it needs a little bit of help, then we'll give it some little bit of help, and think about bottling it at the weekend probably. We're going to get much time other than that to complete it. I'm looking over here for inspiration because the thing's gone. I don't know what. Anyway, yes, ordered some more bits. Another stir bar because the one I've got is a bit tiny. It's only that big, but that was the one I got from the same place I bought my Erlenmeyer flask from. And it's not really big enough for the flask. So I've ordered a slightly larger bar, and I've ordered an STC 1000, an actual ST 1000, not one back here, which is just a temperature controller for hot or cold, but not both. They're okay for beer fridges or temperature fermentation belts, things like that. The trays, I've got one of those heater trays that you can put a bin on, which obviously there's no thermostatic control on them, so they can creep higher than you want. So obviously if you integrate something like that in there, you can control the temperature, or at least shut it down when it's starting to creep up, which is what I got those for. A couple of projects that have yet to transpire, let alone finish. But I have two fridges out in the various sheds to convert. I was gonna sell them, but I don't think they'll be flying out the door, as they say, because they are built-in fridge and a built-in freezer. So obviously they've got to go in a kitchen unit cabinet. Obviously I don't need to worry about that. I've got an upright freezer for me hops and bits and pieces, so I have got a freezer surplus, but the fridge I'm going to convert with an STC 1000. That'll be the Mark 1 fermentation chamber, and when I can accommodate the room for the big upright fridge, I should do the same again and either utilise the controller that I use on the first fridge. I can get rid of that, or have two. Oh, very gassy that bit. Sneaky, mind you, I am a bit bloated up from dinner. Did indulge in a very large cherry pie and custard. So yeah, we've got a few bits more to come next week. Still on the hunt for another tripod actually, but one will turn up. But anyway, that's it for me. I can tell you no more. Once I know this wine's okay, then I'll crack on and do the other ones. I'll probably stagger them because I don't want to end up with like 6 demijohns full of wine, all got to be racked and at the same time. But cheers to all those that are participating in the SJ UK leg. Got to get all your scores done and dusted by Friday of this week, the 19th. That is when the UK cut-off point is. I know most of the guys that are actually uploading are pretty much done now, but I don't know, obviously I think there's nearly half or just more than half again that obviously aren't active brew tubers. They're probably just people that watch on that side over there. You, yeah, you, not you, anyone there that are doing it as well, but obviously just scoring on the site and putting the comments in on the review section of the beer. So yes, you've got till Friday, guys. Get drinking, get drinking. Wish I'd have bought a local Dell now. Yeah. Shan't be recommending that one. Sorry, Frenchy brewer. I think your Homebrew would be better than this one. I've had a couple of others that are definitely better than that from France. Well, I'll get another one. It's an excuse to do another one, isn't it? You know, I've got Italian craft beers next week. So, oh God. I'm done. So are you. Goodbye. See you next week.